On a cool autumn morning, you step out into your garden, and overnight, the whole place seems to have changed. Everywhere you look, delicate webs are strung between the plants. They hang from the hedges, fences, and blades of grass, and each one is beaded with tiny, glittering drops of dew. To some, this sudden sight brings a small shiver of unease. They think of the spiders and hurry to sweep the webs away. But those dewy webs are truly one of nature's great wonders, and their maker is a silent, tireless guardian of your garden. That little spider is not something to fear at all. It is a master builder, a patient artist, and a pest hunter. Today, you'll learn the secrets hidden in those dewy webs. Welcome back to What the Garden Knows, where your yard has been speaking and we finally learned to listen. Let's begin with why all those webs seem to appear at once. You may honestly feel as if a whole army of spiders has suddenly invaded your garden overnight. But in truth, most of those webs were already there before. It is simply the morning dew that finally makes them visible to you. Tiny droplets of water settle all along the fine silk threads, and all at once, the hidden webs sparkle and glisten brilliantly in the low early light. On a dry, still morning, you would have walked right past every one of them completely unseen. There is also a good reason you notice so very many in the autumn. Late summer and early autumn are by far the busiest, most active season for spiders. By then, they have finally grown from tiny, near-invisible spiderlings into large, fully grown adults. So they are bigger, hungrier, and building their largest webs of the year. This means your garden is not being overrun by newcomers at all. You are simply seeing a whole hidden world, suddenly revealed by the dew. A busy world that has been quietly working there all along. And once you learn how to read it, it is a truly astonishing sight. But that web is far more than just a simple insect trap. It is a real masterpiece of silk, engineering, and endless patience. If spiders quietly share your garden too, tell me about it in the comments. And do consider subscribing because their story is genuinely remarkable. The first secret is the silk that every single web is made from.
Because spider silk is truly one of nature's most incredible materials. For its weight, it is actually far stronger than steel itself. And yet, at the same time, it is soft, light, and able to stretch. Human engineers in white coats have tried for many long years to copy it in the laboratory. But so far, nothing we make can quite match all its qualities. Not our strongest ropes, and not even our finest, most advanced man-made threads. And a single ordinary spider can spin several completely different kinds of silk from its body. There is a strong, dry silk used only for the sturdy frame that holds the whole web up. There is a sticky, stretchy silk made to trap and to hold the struggling, captured prey. And there is soft, fine silk to wrap its precious eggs in safety. The spider produces every kind of it from tiny spouts at the very end of its body. It draws the liquid silk out and it hardens instantly in the air. Just imagine trying to make such a material inside your own body. This tiny creature does exactly that, quietly, every single day. It is, quite simply, one of the finest and most remarkable materials in all of the natural world. And yet the spider spins it all out as easily and as simply as you and I breathe. The second secret is how the spider actually builds that perfect web. Because a round orb web is a genuine engineering marvel to behold. And the spider will often build a brand new one every single night. First, the little spider somehow has to cross a wide open gap between two separate plants. So it patiently releases a single, very fine thread that drifts slowly out upon the breeze. That fine thread floats gently across the gap until it finally catches on the far side. And now the spider has its first bridge line to carefully walk across. From that first bridge line, it builds a strong outer frame all around, out of dry silk. Then it carefully lays down the spokes, all running inward toward the very center, like a wheel. Finally, it walks those spokes, spinning a sticky spiral outward as it goes. And all of this careful, delicate work it manages to do in well under a single hour. It works entirely alone in the dark, guided only by touch, with no plan or blueprint at all. No one ever teaches it, and it never draws itself a single line. That astonishing knowledge is simply born inside every single spider. It is a skill it has carried, perfect and complete, from the moment it first hatched. And so, each morning, a fresh and flawless masterpiece hangs in your garden. If these little builders are amazing you as much as they amaze me, take a quick moment right now and tap that like button for me. It truly helps these quiet garden secrets reach so many more curious people. The third secret is how the spider hunts its prey from that web. You might well imagine that it simply sits and watches very closely for its next passing meal. But in fact, a great many spiders can barely see it all. Instead, the spider hunts almost entirely by feeling and not by looking. Instead, it rests very quietly at the hub in the center or waits patiently upon a single thread. And it always keeps at least one sensitive leg gently touching the silk of the web. So when an insect blunders into the sticky spiral of the web, the whole thing suddenly trembles. Those tiny vibrations then travel quickly along the silk lines straight to the waiting spider. And from them alone, it knows at once that fresh prey has arrived. It can even tell a trapped fly apart from a fallen leaf or a passing gust of wind. It can even work out, from the vibrations alone, exactly where in the web it needs to go. So the spider dashes out swiftly along its own dry threads, straight to the struggling, trapped insect. And it quickly wraps the prey up in silk to hold it perfectly still. It is a hunter that listens to its web much like a fisherman's line, feeling every single tremble through the sensitive tips of its legs. A silent, patient, waiting trap, watched over closely by an equally patient, waiting hunter. So it builds and it spins and it waits with such great patience. But there is one more quiet gift that it gives to your garden. The fourth secret is the quiet gift that the spider gives to you. Because that humble spider is truly one of your garden's finest helpers. Spiders are among the very greatest hunters of insects on all the earth. And your garden is always full of insects you would much rather not have. Biting flies, whining mosquitoes, plant-sucking aphids, and a great many other troublesome little pests. The spiders in your garden quietly hunt and eat them all in truly enormous numbers. A single garden spider, all on its own, may catch many hundreds of insects in one single season. And a whole garden full of them quietly catches countless more than that. They work all through the day and all through the night, asking for nothing. No sprays, no traps, and no help of any kind at all from you. They simply appear on their own and they quietly get to work, season after season. They are completely free and utterly tireless, natural pest control, hidden right there in plain sight, quietly keeping the delicate balance of your garden gently in check. So every single web out there is a small trap, quietly set out to protect your plants, and the spider, all the while, is quietly working there on your side. The fifth secret is one that may finally set your worried mind at ease, because most people tend to fear spiders far, far more than they ever should. The plain truth is that your garden spiders are almost entirely harmless. They truly have no interest in you or in harming you whatsoever. All that they truly want are the small insects that get caught within their sticky webs. The vast majority of them have fangs far too small to even pierce human skin at all. And a bite from a common garden spider is a genuinely rare thing. And on the very rare occasion that it does happen, it is almost always completely harmless. They would always far rather flee from you than ever come near you. In fact, that little spider is far more afraid of you than you could ever be of it. Now, it is always wise to learn the few genuinely risky species that live in your own local area,
But the everyday spider out in your garden is very simply a friend. There is no need to fear it and no need to tear down its web. It only ever wishes to be left alone in peace, to quietly get on with its work. And that quiet, patient work is helping your whole garden to thrive. The sixth secret is what all of those webs truly reveal about your garden. Because a garden that is full of spiders is telling you something wonderful.
Spiders will only ever stay where there is plenty of food for them to catch. So finding a great many webs means your garden is quietly teeming with all kinds of insect life. And a garden that is full of insects is a living, thriving, healthy one. It also means that you have not drenched it in harsh chemical poisons, for those sprays would very quickly kill the insects and the spiders alike. A poisoned, sprayed garden is a strangely silent and empty one, with very few webs at all. But a web-strung garden is a healthy, balanced, and living little world. Where you find the most webs also shows you exactly where the insects fly, along the hedges, the paths, and the warm, sunny, sheltered spots. So in their own quiet way, the spiders are gently mapping out all the hidden life in your yard. Reading their webs is a little like reading the health of the whole garden, and a garden that is full of webs is truly a garden full of life. We've now uncovered so very many wonders in that one dewy little web, but the final secret is perhaps the most beautiful of them all. Here is the seventh and most wonderful secret of the garden spider. That little creature is far, far older than you might ever begin to guess. Spiders have been quietly spinning their fine silk for hundreds and hundreds of millions of years. Long, long before the very first dinosaurs, they were already stringing up their silent, patient webs. And every single morning, all across the whole wide world, they quietly do it once again. What looks to us like something small and perhaps a little frightening is truly one of the greatest artists and engineers in all of nature. It builds a flawless, perfect wheel of glistening silk entirely alone, in the dark of night. It listens closely to the whole living world through the very silken threads that it has spun. It guards your garden faithfully, and it asks for nothing at all in return. No thanks, no food, and no shelter, only to be quietly left alone. And it has been quietly perfecting this ancient craft since long before us. So the very next time you find a web strung with glittering morning dew, do not rush to sweep it away in fear or in disgust. Just stop for a single quiet moment and really look closely at it in the morning light. See the fine silver threads and all the tiny, glittering, jewel-like beads of dew. You are looking at a tiny, ancient, and truly masterful builder, a patient artist, and a faithful, silent guardian of your garden. And that is what your garden has been trying to tell you all along. So the next time your garden is jeweled all over with dewy webs, you will know the quiet wonder that is hidden in every silken thread. An ancient artist and a gentle guardian, quietly working while you sleep. So simply let the webs be, and let their patient makers watch over all your plants. If this changed the way you see your garden, subscribe to What the Garden Knows. Every single week, we learn to read one more secret hidden in plain sight. And if you love the wild lives that fill your yard, check out Backyard Wildlife Mind. It's where we explore all the creatures living just outside your window. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, your garden is always speaking.